Hi Ryan, how you doing? This has really come a long way, and I'm really impressed with how far your type has come in the last few weeks. Really great job. You've really taken care of these relationships between the headlines and these little subheads that come along with them. I think this right here is really a nice little typographic composition. This is really exactly what I'm looking for. These little typographic compositions that you've created, not only in your cover but also in your contents page. Um, uh, this right here is I just love this. If I would move this up here to the top line instead of aligning it with the baseline, I think that would make a lot more sense. But cover looks great. You still have this stroke on the letters of the masthead, and I'm just not sold that that's a great idea. But really, really beautiful cover. Contents page, I think, is a little fragmented in terms of visual hierarchy. There's just too many visual stops, Ryan. I don't want to count, but I mean, let's just real quick. One, two, here, here, here. All of these here, 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 here. Then all of these, this stripe, this triangle. It's there's a lot going on here. The viewer sees this before they really even consider opening the page. And sometimes when it seems a little overwhelming like this, the viewer will tend to move on. Okay, so I think you're a little image heavy here, and over here, this type. I really want you to print this page out because you're going to see this type is just enormous. I'll bet that's 16. Um, Easy right there. Point size of 16. So really want to watch that. Then the only other thing with these two pages is that you just keep on showing this tendency to want to mix sans serif with sans serif, serif with serif, sans, sans again, serif, sans. See what I'm saying? Let's go down to your spread and let's take a look at this. Now you've done a really smart thing, and that's start the type at the same um, horizontal um, mark at each page. That's a good idea. And your baselines are nice and consistent. Great job. Typographically, I think you've done a really wonderful job. There's a few things that are issues. Okay, for example, this right here. And let's go back to the cover because I think there's a better example here of where was that? Okay, it was right here on the contents page. It's called hanging punctuation. And technically what you want to do is all your letters at the end or the beginning of a text block or a section of text or a paragraph or whatever shit, depending on how it's aligned. If it's right aligned, this is left aligned, so your punctuation needs to hang off the left margin, meaning that if you draw a guide, and I'll just do that real quick. I'll just draw this guide right here, and I'll place it at the end of that S. Well, kind of the end of that S. There. And you can see everything's in alignment except for that punctuation. See how that throws that whole clean margin off. So what you want to do there is take both that punctuation there and that question mark there and hang them over the edge of that margin, that right tight margin. Real quick, Google web search of hanging punctuation in InDesign. It's really simple. Okay, next. This is too big for a pull quote. And it looks like you've got a double space after that right there. I'm not sure if that's just a PDF rendering or not. I think this content area, of the headline for the interior spread is, like I said, you've got this area demarcated for that intent, but you've used it with some other things. I think this should be a really prominent title area with a little byline there, and there's a lot of things you can do up here. You can do a pull quote up here. A lot of things you can do. I just don't think stacking it with image and this pull quote that spans 3 columns of type. I just don't think that's a really great solution. I think both your pull quotes are just entirely too large. Technically, you need a question mark right here, not a comma. Technically, that is going to stand on its own because it's its own quote. That's why it's in quotation marks. So if it reads as a question, it should be a question mark. I know it seems weird because you're going to have another question mark back here, but that's how it is. Rags are okay, but they're not great. Let me find some good rag areas. This is, look, you got too many patterns, okay? This is too big, this pull quote, because what it's doing is it's throwing this thing off here. Looks like you got a word wrap on there, and it's just really demolishing that whole relationship right there, and it's doing the same thing over here. So I would try to take that pull quote and either keep it restrained to 1 or 2 columns, and try not to extend beyond the margin area. That's going to cause all sorts of problems, weirdness. Rags should basically go like this: in, out, in, out, in, out, with no major fluctuations. Yours are creating, okay, so you have these huge here, and then but then you have this wave pattern here. Then you have short, short, super long, then short, longer, longer, short, shorter, shorter. It should be, long, short, long, short, long, short. Not like a zigzag, but just fluctuating, no extremes. I think you've done a great job. If you have any questions, give me a holler. But I think plenty of videos, and I think that we're well on our way to. I definitely print this page out. This type's enormous. You'll see. Okay. All right. Great job. I love it. Appreciate it. Good hard work. Enjoyed having you in class, man. Thanks, man.